Hey, everybody. Give me a second. Still setting some things up. It's election day. I just got to play with. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. There's a little bit of static this way. How about now? Check 1 2. Let's go. Let's do this. All right. 1104 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. Don't forget tonight. I know if I'm not screwing up right now bad enough. Don't forget tonight, or I can screw up even more, for live coverage of the elections as they come in. And for those of you joining on video and haven't learned it yet, I am now in my living room and no longer in a garage, at least as far as broadcasting goes. I'm now in my living room. And yeah, it's at least a little less, how should I say, a little less congested as far as like the actual space. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this house under construction. Hang out to the end when we're going to talk about Pierre's pot. Today, it's the poll workers working all over the country. But first, morning motivation. Hillary Clinton. I got to share this. I'm trying to do stuff like this, like get this stuff on. There she is. Hillary Clinton is today's. Not liking that either. I'm just playing with the different configurations and whatever else. Our morning motivation is a quote from some celebrity or business person, maybe not celebrity, but somebody in a business that's relevant to what I do. There's some people from hospitality, now some people from broadcasting, etc. And a quote they've given that is influential and inspiring to me. And so I tell you how that's worked for me, and I offer an opportunity for how it can work for you. Today it's Hillary Clinton saying that we believe that cooperation is better than conflict. Unity is better than division. Empowerment is better than resentment. And bridges are better than walls. She said that on June 7th, 2016. Obviously, we know what was happening that summer. And I still say that was a year this country was robbed. A known fraud used outside assistance. You know what I mean by that? Russian help, among other countries now, to gain the most powerful position in the world ever known to man. And now he's trying it again. And fortunately, I think a lot of people have learned their lesson this time. And Kamala Harris is really promoting a similar message in that she's got this campaign of joy, but also unity with things like the Infrastructure and Inflation Reduction Act. The Biden administration came through and continued to be a president for everybody. You might not like him. I didn't like him. He wasn't my 17th choice. But even if he were still the candidate, and same goes for Kamala Harris, I would strip naked and crawl through broken glass to vote for either one of them against Donald Trump. And my firsthand experience of that administration is minimal compared to some of the other people that have spoken out against him. Listen to them. Don't take just their word for it. Listen to Kelly or Mattis, but then go to the other more than 300 people from his administration, from the Republican Party at all levels, prominent people from the party, and hear what they have to say. You don't even have that with Kamala Harris. There was a commercial that was done first by Republicans. We've played it here many times as a commercial. That's the other thing we get to celebrate today, the end of political commercials for at least a little bit. But there was a commercial that had, I think at the end, when they have the big Hollywood Squares looking thing and everybody is joining virtually and there's like 1,000 people. Let's say hundreds of people. That was proven to be actual Republican voters who voted for Trump, who said they would not do it again. The Trump campaign tried the same thing. Oh, somebody's taking my refrigerator. Thank you. The Trump campaign tried the same thing with Democrat voters. It was proven that they were actors. He can't even do that. So stop the divisiveness that he's done. Cooperate. Relax, guys. Hey, I said both of you relax. Oh, you know what? I think my speakers are on. Yeah. So check 1 2. Oh no. Try it again. Check 1 2. Okay, that's the headphones. So, guys, stop. The windows are open. It's a beautiful fall day here in sunny, hot Florida. And my refrigerator has been out since probably Friday. Yeah, Friday. And then I got it out of the house finally. And it's been sitting there since Friday. Nobody's taken it. And now somebody's loading it up onto the trailer of their whatever they got out front. Thank you. So, yeah, cooperation is better than conflict. Unity is better than division. Empowerment is better than resentment. And bridges are better than walls. Yeah, that was a campaign issue. 1,954 miles is how long the Mexico border is with the United States. He did 400 and change, and it fell over. And because, remember, this is not racist, this wall, this quote-unquote need for this wall is not a racist need. We need to protect the whole country. Which means I guess he's going to build another wall, 5,500 and some odd miles, along the border with Canada. Because as you know, in the northern part of our country, there's a huge influx of arrests and traffic stops based on the suspicion of being Canadian. Right? No, it's not. So, and look at some of the things that the Biden administration did get through, done by cooperation, bipartisan work, creating the unity. There we go. Oh, that's the dishwasher too. Oh, I forgot about that. And empowerment. I mean, what is she trying to do, Harris? What is she trying to do with the Small Business Administration and help other small business? I could use that help, especially now. I mean, you see that shower curtain over my right shoulder? That's the door to the bedroom behind it and the bathroom that's also right there. Now, I'll lift the camera up here a second. You can see the wall. That fan, the wall, you can see the studs because the drywall's out. I don't know if you can make it out, but the wall behind me is partially studded up. That's my bedroom in the background. You can see right through the wall into that. It's obviously not my bedroom right now. Oh, I forgot to turn that off. It's 11:15. It's obviously not my bedroom right now, but that's what my whole house looks like. That I would love financial assistance to make this. Where's the audio? Enable sound. There we go. I'm going to click that. There. I would love some financial assistance to make this to a point where I would never have to do this again. I have flood insurance, and I'm going to be collecting on that. I'm getting help from FEMA. But what about Yerg's Radio, Mastiff Media? That's sad. That's in poor shape right now. I would love to be able to hire somebody to help me get it better, develop the show better. Speaking of which, we only have 44 minutes left, so got to stop rambling. But yeah, empowerment is not a bad thing. And of course, bridges. You know, we're working not only with neighbors throughout my neighborhood, but also other communities, other states, the rest of the country. Why is that bad? In 2016, when he won, we'll say the first and hopefully only time, I went to some Trump people and they said, and just like in when Black Lives Matter became a thing, I went to some black people that I knew. I said, okay, how can I help? Both entities said, we don't need you and we don't want you. That is not what this country is all about. As a gay man, I didn't earn, well, I've always had the right, but wasn't finally granted that right because of other gay people. Two men, straight men, helped me gain that right. One of them was black. And you can't continue to function if you're not going to realize that and accept that outside help, unity, is a good thing. Hopefully, what she saw back in 2016 will be seen later on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. For 3 hours, we'll be right here with the results of today's election. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about that election and what's going on throughout the country, throughout your local hood, and where polls are so far. 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after this. Let's do one more political.
is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Joe Biden.
He lost the election and he knew it.
To become the president.
He betrayed millions of Americans by telling them the election was stolen.
Stop the steal.
He ignored the rulings of dozens of courts. Rather than accept his defeat, he mobilized a mob to come to Washington and march on the Capitol. Then he watched on television while the mob attacked law enforcement, invaded the Capitol, and hunted the vice president. He refused for 3 hours to tell the mob to leave. There has never been a greater dereliction of duty by any president. Trump was warned repeatedly that his plans for January 6th were illegal. He didn't care, and today he celebrates those who attacked our Capitol. Donald Trump has proven he is unfit for office. Donald Trump is a risk America can never take again.
Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergs Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey. All right.
First of all, what?
Oh. Wrong button.
What?
Momentum Fitness and Wellness. I'll be there this afternoon. I'm going to need a break. God, I'm going to need a break. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Bayonet Point. The phones are caught. Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates, Hudson. Right on 19. Right in Jasmine Estates. Newly redone facility, expanded, indoor and out, cold plunge, sauna, additional workout equipment, stretching area, you name it. Continue your momentum. Build that Hernando beach body. Keep that Clearwater beach body. Build that momentum. I'll see you there this afternoon. Talk to Anthony, like I said in the other commercial. We all got a guy, and Anthony's mine. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. All right. So updates throughout the day. It's going to be Oh, somebody sees me. So I got a text message from my friend Sebastian. Oh, I see you, sexy. Yeah. You missed during the commercial. I was putting eye drops in. My left eye is irritated like crazy. It's kind of pissing me off. So I've got two of my four monitors back to functioning, and obviously wish that I had. Oh, that doesn't move as fast. That's right. Obviously, wish that I had the other two, but is what it is. I ordered the power cables that I need for them through Walmart, and I was all excited Sunday night when I did it. It said arriving Tuesday, and that's all I looked at. And I pressed order, and they're on the way for Tuesday, November 12th, next week. Oh well, yeah, whatever. But I'm organizing my two desktops so that I at least can still spread things out and have it everything at like a convenient spot, and relevant to how I use it during the show. Anyway, tonight's show will also be right here in this chair. I might be having a friend join me in over underneath that television in the background. I'll set up my Apple computer for him. My friend Steve might be joining tonight. Kind of like producer, news guy, whatever. And we'll bring him on with whatever updates he finds as we're talking about various things. So, joining tonight, Philip Blackett, our resident Trump supporter, lives up to his name, Black, black male, black man, not blackmail, but a black male, black man, very intelligent, very educated, just in my mind, is living proof that no one's perfect. He is, as I said, a Trump supporter. And he'll be joining us tonight. Also, from our Friday show, the homeless conservative, another right-wing intelligent guy, not a Trump supporter, Blake Fisher, will be joining. And we'll be calling out to our other Friday co-host, who's obviously got other fish to fry, and that's Matt Deemer, who's running for Congress in the 7th District of Ohio, right outside Cleveland. And I mean, because it's more suburbs, it's a little more conservative, but that guy's a huge MAGA guy. So hopefully Matt's going to flip that tonight. Also tonight, we're going to be making calls. We're going to be using the website that pretty much everybody uses. Here's what it looks like now, based on polls and the states that are going to be the determining factor. And now this is a new one. Yeah, so let me share this. This is interesting because this is a change from what we've been using. There you see the map that we used last night. I was on the podcast guys last night for the second time. That's a fun bunch. And now that I know that they're more comical than anything, I loosened up a little, and had a really good time. But here is the map of the Electoral College as it stands right now by prediction, of course. I think Florida is going to be even more narrow, as might be Texas. I think there's a better showing, as from what I've seen, and of course I haven't been to Texas, but just seeing things online, there's a better showing nationally, I think, for Kamala Harris than in Texas, in Florida, than in Texas. I still think Trump's going to win both, but there was an incident. Well, Trump people call it an incident because it's not good. There was a rally at a town here in Florida known as The Villages. It's a retirement community, and it's a retirement community. And like so many tighter communities or communities that have more than just houses, they've got some business or bar or restaurant that you want to go to. I got my eyes watering. Give me a second, okay? They have golf carts. And I should have shut the window behind me too. Oh, prep work. They have golf carts that everybody parades around in. Same thing with my hood here. And they had a rally for Donald Trump. And you're supposed to decorate your golf cart in Trump stuff. Everybody came. One golf cart was decorated for Trump. One. All of the other golf carts had Kamala Harris things on it. All of them. But one. That is what those of us who are or used to be in law enforcement call a clue. I've mentioned the signs, and I mean like the actual signs, not just clues, but signs that say Trump Vance. It used to say Trump Pence with the change of 2 letters and a date. It's a new sign. Trump Vance. In 2021, when I moved here after the 2020 election, there were still Trump Pence signs all over the place. And they lost that election. I don't see them at all like I used to. And in fact, first of all, let's talk about how you get them so you know why you see them. Obviously, you see any campaign sign for either candidate, either side, because you're a supporter. But they're not mailed to you just for good measure. You donate money to that campaign. And then they ship it to you. Now, in 2020, not only was I seeing the 18 by 24 yard signs all over the place, in some households, multiple, but I was also seeing the 8 by 12 feet signs on the side of a building, in farmers' fields, on the side of highways, in parking lots, wherever any business or supporter could. I don't even know how do you get one of those? Do you have it made yourself to the tune of at least hundreds of dollars? And I guess my question this year is, did they work? Polls are saying no. That's not the unity that we've talked about. Something else. And also, I don't see them. They're not here at all. And in fact, some of the Trump signs that I do see are leftover from Trump Pence. And Pence is just cut off. If I do see new signs, they're considerably smaller. What does that mean? That means you've donated less money to that cause, because again, they're not for free. So you've donated less money. And I know they're going to come up with some excuse, oh, we didn't have as much money. If you have a passion for it, you'll find the money. Especially if it means getting that person into office is going to eventually get you more money, which in this case it's not. Every economist worth their name has said that his plan is going to cause higher inflation and is not going to yield the take-home money he's telling us. Experts, people that he doesn't like for obvious reasons. And so I cut the commercial out today because, I mean, if you haven't replied by now, you're not going to. But the last commercial was the one where I come on asking my audience for help with finding or coming forward if you're a Trump supporter and telling me why. I just don't see it. But as I refreshed this map, one of the states that's gone decided is now leaning Republican. And I pulled up another tab to get it. But presidential polls 2024. There was the one story I used the other day. I think it was USA Today. Yeah, I don't see any of these really being as fresh because there's going to be stuff for today. That God, I wish I could find that without trying to dig up. This is the one where they talked about her taking over in Iowa. And that is such a more prominent shift than it's such a more prominent shift than what they're showing in Georgia, or excuse me, Arizona. Arizona, 11 electoral votes. And here's mine. Here's what I think is going to happen. First of all, we're going to, where's the, here, blank. This is how we're going to start tonight at 8 o'clock. And this is how it's going to stay throughout the show until each state is called. So you see, tan means, for purposes of this map, means that it's a toss-up. Well, it's also not decided yet. So when we get news that Montana has come in, we're going to say, we're going to see how decisive it was, and color accordingly. In this case, the darker the color, red or blue, the more prominent the win in that state. Wow. It doesn't do it that way that'll be cool because it's yes or no, essentially. So cool. It's either going to be red, as you're seeing there for Montana, or blue. That's it. So, yeah, that's cool. I like that. So, based on, let's see if I can do. Hey, easy. Relax. Oh, puppies think they're so tough. There's nothing happening. Shady, come here, baby. Come here. There's nothing. I don't know what the hell she's barking at. There's nothing happening. Based on how things are likely going to go, let's set this up. What I think is going to happen. Is it 4? Yeah, they got 5. I didn't know they had that many. Here's the other one. So if they're calling, if this is, for the likelihood, is calling Arizona for Trump. Back in June, Trump had more than a 20-point lead in Iowa over Biden. In July, when that switch was made and Harris came in, the lead was cut to about 4 or 5, or the lead was cut at least in half, maybe even more. As of earlier this week, she had a 4-point lead in Iowa. So if they're already giving by polling, which is much closer in Arizona, if they're already giving that to Trump, then I'm giving that to Kamala Harris. Stop it. Lie down. Oh, what a pain in the ass. So there's most of the country with New England still to go and part of the Mid-Atlantic. Knock it off. Lay down. Get over here. Get over here. Oh. Hello, world. This is Shady. You met her before. She likes to bitch. Stop. Daddy's got you. Behave. Illinois is going to be solid blue. I think the blue wall is going to remain intact. And reason being, there's just too much that she's done and also that he's done to screw it up. I think that she's laying on my cable for the headphones. I think that Puerto Rico joke at the Madison Square Garden is going to bite him in the ass. I think that's why Florida is actually going to be close tonight. But also Pennsylvania has almost 500,000 Puerto Rican Americans, just Puerto Rican Americans. That doesn't count the rest of the Latino community. And so I think that's going to be pretty prominent. New York, New Hampshire, that'll send her over. Jersey, and Delaware, and Maryland. We talked last night, and there you go, by the way. We talked last night about Virginia possibly being close. I don't think so. I know there's a Republican governor there who's liked, which is the point that was made last night. I just don't see that. I think that's going to stay blue, and there, I'm getting 311. I was getting 308 before. I don't know if it's Vermont. Sure as hell ain't Delaware. Oh, here's another one. DC's not going for him. Yeah, I don't see a landslide until 320. That was the number we came up with on Friday. And nobody came up with a landslide. I have to go back and look at something because I thought I had that too. Maybe if we did this. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so she sweeps this whole column here. Oh, that was part of it. You know, I put this blue. But I mean, even if that doesn't happen, and actually last night I did say that I think Iowa will pull themselves, correct themselves, if you will, by staying, more historically. Not that it's never gone Democratic; it has. Obama and Clinton both won Iowa, but I just don't see it happening right now. Nevada is very split, and there's three major sections. Even though it's a winner take all state. Down here in the south is Las Vegas, and up in the northwest is Reno, and then there's the rest of the state. This is where roughly, I'd say, about almost 50% of the voters are. And so they'll vote one way, predominantly left-leaning. Throughout the rest of Nevada and Reno is the other 50%. Most of that 50% is throughout the residential area, spread out throughout the whole state. Reno, however, has been working, is the flip. They're the ones, while the rural parts of Nevada are consistently conservative, and Las Vegas is consistently progressive or liberal, left-leaning, Reno has historically bounced back and forth. So as such, they're the deciding factor as to which way the state goes. And that's why, in addition to supporting or campaigning in Vegas, you'll see the left side also campaign heavily in Reno. Same thing with the right. They're going to, of course, get through their base, but also who could be the deciding factor. I don't think Trump did that as well this year, which is why he's going to lose Nevada to Kamala Harris. These two have been close. North Carolina is now going more to Kamala Harris, as has been another close one that was statistically tied, is now leaning to Harris as well. She's only 6 points away, and we haven't even touched the remaining Great Lakes. Wisconsin is going to do it. That's going to put her at 274. Michigan has been a toss-up still, but I think they're going to be consistent one to the other. And so even if Trump gets that, I think she'll still win Pennsylvania, putting her 293. And that's if she doesn't win Iowa. But like I said, even if Trump wins Pennsylvania and Michigan, she's still going to get Wisconsin and Minnesota. Already has a solid grasp on New York and Illinois. He can have Arizona because she'll probably take Georgia and North Carolina. And in that case, we've got a fairly close election. Again, gang, I don't think it's going to be that close. I think we're going to get an October surprise somewhere. They're saying Arizona is going to go to Trump. I think it's still a toss-up. But I think I think she's going to get all three. Up here, sorry, my coffee is working its way back up. And there's the 308. I think the October surprise that's going to come in November is either going to be here, Iowa, that last poll might stick it out, and or trying to turn Iowa back to red, and or Florida. It's close down here. She gets 30 electoral votes from winning Florida. There's nothing he's going to do. He can have Arizona and Nevada. And still barely breaking 200 to her 332. I don't think it's going to go that far. I don't know that we're going to see that October surprise in the form of something in the Electoral College. But again, I just, my colleagues on the Friday show tell me that the polls are what they are. I just saw another, Nate Silver just said he thinks the other polls are being rigged to keep it close. Like, well, aren't your polls saying the same thing? I don't think it's going to be close. I don't consider 308 to 230 to be close. And yeah, I just think that the two biggest statements that I think are going to come through today. And by the way, I tried to vote before the show today. There was a line out the door of people that I never saw in my life. Maybe Florida stepping up in the rural parts. Or maybe it's people from the villages, if you know what I mean. Not literally, but the same mindset. Because the two statements that I've heard that I think become so relevant are Phil Repko was one when he was on our show with Jane and me. You see people getting off the Trump train, but you don't see people getting back on. And I know Blake tried to argue against that, but I just think things like almost 300 prominent Republicans stepping out against him. How is that really keeping things close? I don't think, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, I think the polls are done to keep things close. I agree with that statement, that Nate Silver, who said that, because they want to stay relevant. Especially the newspaper polls, New York Times, Washington Post, Fox News, who is really in a minority. They're leading as far as individual networks. And that's great. But they're the only conservative network. So it's the only option conservatives have in television media. So even though even though they have more viewers than MSNBC or CNBC or CNN, collectively, when you just go libs and GOPs, they're not excelling there. So I just think it's going to come down to that. And yeah, I'm going to leave here and go get in line in 6 minutes. So anyway, tune in tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. This is going to be blank. And we're going to start over. And we're going to follow as it happens. We'll bring you updates from around the country. We've got a bunch of people all over the place going to be checking in. I think Jane is going to try to check in. She's driving, hopefully safely, up to Massachusetts to visit with her cousin. They've got a thing where they sit out and watch election night and chill and just follow as it comes in. So hopefully she'll be calling in. If not, hopefully she'll be watching. And yeah. I got to take one more quick break. When we come back, Pierre's Pot. We'll be back after this.
Do you have a podcast? Of course you do. It's probably one of the reasons why you listen to us. Well, I got something for you. Flowsend.ai. All you do is take your pre-recorded data, click, drag, and drop right into the inbox for Flowsend AI. Click a button, and out comes everything that you're going to need. From the transcript to content, such as keywords, titles for your episode, the timeline, posts for LinkedIn, posts for Twitter, Instagram, other smaller platforms, all the things that it takes you hours to do in literally minutes. So go to flowsend.ai. Tell them Jurg sent you and get your subscription today. Worth every penny. Flowsend.ai.
All right, Pierre's Pot. Pierre Robert is a disc jockey in Philadelphia that I've listened to literally my whole life. He started in 1981 in Philadelphia. He started in 1981, having left San Francisco when his station out there decided to go to urban country. I don't even know what that is. You know, do cowboys ride a motorcycle? I mean, what is urban country? But it didn't work for him, so he left the station. And a friend of his asked him, said, "Hey, could you drive me to college?" So I said, "Yeah, sure." He says, "Well, it's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania." They're like, "All right." And they hopped in Minerva, his Volkswagen bus, drove across the country, and that's where he landed, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. While in Philly, he put a tape into it. That back then, you actually had to send a tape. Put a tape into WMMR, the 93.3 FM station that's rock, and always has been, rock in Philadelphia. Joe Buonadonna, the program director or station manager or both, or whatever, said no. So while he's kind of hanging out in Philly, spending some time with his college buddy, or with his buddy who's now in college, he's down on South Street, one of the touristy areas of the city. And he sits down with a fortune teller who tells him he needs to go home. You have an important letter waiting for you. So he rushes back to his friend's place to begin packing, to begin the drive across the country, when he sees that there's a letter from MMR. And they reconsidered his offer and he would like them to once again consider theirs, or I guess for the first time, consider theirs. That was 1981. 43 years later, the 69-year-old hippie is still rocking at 93.3 WMMR. So Pierre Robert does a thing where when he toasts a good citizen, also a listener, he does a toast of the morning sauce in their direction. In other words, he toasts them with coffee. Today's good citizen are all the poll workers working today nationwide. Some cases, many cases, putting their lives on the line because of the asshats that would try to influence our election. So today, a toast in your direction of the morning sauce. Stay safe. Everybody, get out there and vote. I'm going to have that toast, so I'm going to have that sip so I don't screw up the toast. Get out there and vote. Educate yourself first. You've got till 7 or 8, depending on what the times are. Check that out. Make sure you know what that is and where to go. And we'll see you back here tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, for updates as they come in. You've been up the middle. We'll see you tonight.